Welcome to Season 2 of Telling Tales. This season we meet up with some old friends and make some new ones. I'll take you on adventures through time, visit mysteries and answer questions such as where does Mustafa Khan go next? And what happened to John Paul Doherty? Welcome to Telling Tales Season 2, written and presented by me, Jeff Price. Morning sun. Why is the land so small now and the sea so cold? My father's father told me once that the land was much bigger and there were trees everywhere. There were bison and deer and gazelles. I can't remember seeing an animal bigger than a rabbit for many seasons. He told me that in one day the women could gather enough nuts and berries to last many days. There are few nut trees now, and the berries do not taste as good. The big animals have gone, and the sea has eaten the forest. I have no one to keep me warm at night, but this pigskin that smells of dung. That's another animal that's left. We hunted pigs, big hairy things with little horns in their mouths. They were brave fighters, and to kill one was dangerous and difficult. We would wait until the sky had struck the ground with light and set the bush on fire. We would build a giant bonfire and go and hunt the pigs. That night all the families would feast on pig and fruit, and we laughed and the old people would tell stories. On a night like that was when I first saw morning sun. She made my insides dance with happiness. I wonder where the pigs are now. Maybe they have gone to where the new men are, the ones who walk like me but aren't me. I don't like them. I think they have taken the animals and the land, and now I'm sitting here, all alone, on a stone in front of the big cave. I'm tired now. Old and tired. My hands ache and my insides make fearful noises and let out smells that make me cough. There have been so many moons since my woman lay down in the cave and I thought she was sleeping, but she didn't wake up and was like all the old people who sleep forever. I took her to the back of the cave and left her there. I covered her body with flowers, the white ones, with the sun in the centre. They were her favourite. I sat there thinking about many things for 2 days. I left her where her children sleep the long sleep, and I placed flowers on them as well. We had many happy times in the early days. Morning sun. She always smote me with a smile just as the sun does. We would go and hunt together, gather fruit, and we would make children. Our first child was such a happy time. He was beautiful and had eyes that seemed to smile. I would watch morning sun feed him. My heart filled with joy. Once I cried and said that dust was in my eyes, and morning sun smiled at me. It was so beautiful. I have no real words for how I felt at that moment. But it was the opposite how we both felt when our child did not wake up one morning and had gone cold in the night. Many children of the other families who live in the caves were like that. I don't know why. Even the old women who knew much about herbs don't know why the children were dying. Eventually, I left the darkness and returned to the front of the cave. Outside, the wind is shouting angry words. I don't know what they mean, but I know anger. I am angry with the land for going away, angry at my people for going to sleep and not waking up, and angry that I am alone. I hope it will rain soon. It hasn't rained for a long time, and the wind has not sung, but instead it shouts and whistles and covers everything in sand that gets into my eyes and my mouth. I caught a rabbit this morning. It was old and tired like me and didn't put up much of a fight. It didn't see me, so I was hiding, and it had come to the stream for water, and I threw a rock at it. Its head was crushed, and it lost a lot of blood, and the insides of its head were all over the place, which is a shame, as I like to eat the inside of the head and drink the blood, but it was a rabbit, and it tasted okay. And it was the first meat I'd had in a long time. Now I mainly live off berries and nuts. I think that's why my insides hurt a lot. Father's father told me that his father and his father's father also lived in this cave. And as far as we know, all our families, going back in uncountable numbers, had lived in the cave, and life was not always easy. He told me of a black cloud that came, and how before the cloud came, the sea became angry and was so angry that it left. And the fish had no water to swim in, and were flapping about on the sand, and children ran down and gathered up the fish. But that made the sea even angrier, and it came back in a big wave, and it swept the children away, and we never saw them again. The sky was so sad that it went black, and the clouds' tears were black, and they covered the land with sadness. It was sad for a very long time. And it was cold. The trees and the bushes had no berries and nuts, and lots of our people went to sleep and didn't wake up. It might have been because they had no food or just sadness that so many of the children had been taken by the sea. I've never seen such a thing myself as the black tears of a cloud. He told me that one day the black clouds left, and it stopped being cold, and once again the berries and the nuts returned, and so did some of the animals. Even the big cows with huge horns came back, but never in the same number. And although the sea was no longer angry, it was slowly getting fatter and fatter. And that's when it swallowed the forest, and many of the animals went away again. I don't know where they go. My people made new people, and we slowly grew in numbers again. But there are many empty caves on our mountain, and it's been 3 moons since I saw another person who looked like me. Sometimes I can see other people walking on 2 legs like me at the bottom of the mountain. It was a shock to see them, and I was going to go down from the mountain and talk to them. But as they got closer, I could see they were not the same. They were ugly, with flat faces and long legs, and their bodies were not furry, and they had skin in the colours of the trees and bushes. I don't know why they did that. I hid behind my rock at the front of the cave, and then they left. When I was young, there were still a lot of people here on the mountain, but slowly they seemed to vanish. Their skins would turn red and spotted as if they were covered in red berries. They became very hot to touch, and then they went to sleep, and then they went cold, and they never woke up. Lots of my people went like that. My woman, morning sun, was waiting for our new child to be born, and the pain came and went on for such a long time, and then the baby did not come out, and she screamed in pain, and then she went cold. When I was back at the front of the cave, I used my stone, which had a pointed edge, to scratch a line in the wall. There are many scratches there, one for each member of my family that I've taken to the back of the cave. I don't know who will take me there when my day comes to sleep, the long sleep, forever. UNESCO, Headquarters, Lecture Theatre, Madrid, Spain, July the 15th, 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today. I am Professor Fernandez. Today we are announcing that the Gorman Cave Complex in Gibraltar is to become a World Heritage Site. It is a significant and almost unique example of the Neanderthal occupation that we've ever found. The research teams have unearthed hundreds of stone tools, fossilized skeletons of Neanderthals, and even mysterious symbols scratched onto the cave wall of one of the caves. It is the only example of Neanderthal cave art we've found in the area. We've no idea what it means, but it shows an understanding of the passing of time. In the same cave as we found the lion drawings, we found the skeletons, which had been deliberately placed at the back of the cave, indicating some sort of burial ritual. However, one skeleton was found near the mouth of the cave and had been wrapped in what we believe was a wild boar skin. It is probable that this was the last occupied site of Neanderthals prior to their extinction, and as such will help us find answers to the many questions concerning the demise of Homo sapiens' closest relatives. If you enjoyed this episode, then please support my podcast by buying me a coffee. Click the heart logo in the top corner of the website page to donate. If you're on another podcast provider, then check out buymeacoffee.com and search for Jeff Price N3. Thank you. You can contact Telling Tales direct by emailing tellingtalesjeffprice@gmail.com. Until the next time, goodbye.